Welcome, welcome. Hello, hello. Come on in. Come on in. Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. So I'm excited to be sharing this content with you guys today. We're going to be talking about what's possible. So anytime I even think about what's possible, I get excited. So I hope you guys are excited too. Let me turn my volume up. So I hope you guys are excited too. It's been a long week. We didn't have a live last week because of the power outages and things like that here in Texas. So we're back up today. So I'm just glad to be here and be able to have power and share with you guys today about what's possible as a government contractor. Over the past few weeks, we've been talking about getting clients, right? We've been talking about getting customers, and we've talked about the shift that you will need to make all of that happen. So we've talked about moving beyond group programs if you're a coach or consultant. We talked about expanding beyond the one-on-one if you're a contractor and you're doing one-off client work or customer work. We talked about, going from that, the group programs, the one-on-one, the one-off contracts or one-off clients, customers, whatever phrase you use, to going into multiple clients or multiple contracts, I should say, right? Because we can have multiple clients too. It's cool, right? Whatever way you want to do this. But today we're talking about how you can bring it full circle, if you will, and just what's possible for you as a government contractor. So, you may be doing great in your personal sector of the market or private sector of the market, whether it's residential, other small businesses you're working with, commercial customers, corporate clients, if you will. So you could be doing great there, but I want you to be open to what's possible today as a government contractor. Okay. So I want to share that with you guys. And then I want to point out, why you should move beyond that. Okay. So that's what we're going to be talking about here today. Let me share this out. So let everybody know that we are here this week, because I know some people are probably like, I'm not sure she's here this week because, we weren't here last week. Again, it was uncontrollable. I didn't have power. So, I couldn't make it happen. I wish I could have, I missed you guys. And I was going to share this and probably more last week, but it is what it is. We're here today, and that's all that matters, right? So we're here today, and I'm glad to be here. So let's see. All right. So I'm just letting everybody know we're here live. So bear with me momentarily while I do that, because, let's see, it's been rough. It's been rough. And a lot of people are still without. And so, I continue to pray for them and that things turn around and get better. Some of my students in my Contractors Edge Bootcamp, I don't know if they have power, but they're here in the local area with me. So I haven't heard from them. I don't know. I hope that they do. And anyone else in the community, if you're in Texas, because it affected the whole state of Texas, I hope you guys are doing okay. Whether you catch us live or you watch the replay, just know that we are all thinking about you guys, and that we hope that you have the bare necessities that was taken away from us. So hopefully you have, your water, electricity, and things like that. So I just feel fortunate to be able to share and be here today and just continue on. So I just wanted to share that. So we're going to go ahead and dive in. All right. So let me know in the chat if you're already bidding government contracts. Yes or no? No or yes. Are you already bidding government contracts? Because it'll kind of let me know where you guys are at in the process and, what we're going to talk about. I have my topics, but I like to know where you guys are at. So let us know. And also let us know who you are, where you're joining from, and what you offer. Who you are, where you're joining from, and what you offer. So let us know in the chat. So I see Latoya's here. Yes. Glad to have you. And Josh and Tina. Okay, Josh and Tina I believe these are the same ones because this says Burning Heart Fellowship. So I'm not sure, but I think these two are in the Contractors Edge Bootcamp, if I'm correct. Jackie is here. So welcome, welcome. All right. So we're going to go ahead and dive into today's topic. And let's talk about what's possible. So here's what I like about government contracting and what's possible for you guys. A lot of times, if you think about it, when we have multiple clients, a lot of different customers, and that's how we start out. You know, if you're starting out in the private sector, you know, whatever that looks like for you, a lot of times we have to take on a lot to get the numbers that we want. So we need the volume to get the numbers, which means we need a lot of clients. We need a lot of customers, and it's okay, right? We don't know what we don't know. And if it's working, you know, we kind of stick to it until we learn something else. So I want to expose you today to something else, to something that's possible if you haven't already looked into it. And if you have, I just want to solidify for you why it is a good decision to move into government contracting. I'm not saying you have to leave the private sector or the client base, customer base that you currently have. You can definitely add to it. And then, you know, if it ever came a time where you had to make that decision, as I always say, make that, you know, if it's a pimp decision, basically, you make the decision right. And that'll just entail, you know, when that time comes, you know, if you needed to make a shift from one or the other or to continue with both. It's always your decision, it's your business, and you have to be the CEO of your business and make those decisions, okay? All right. So smaller client base is one of the things that you'll find in the government marketplace. With that, you'll, you know, find your customer. And what you'll find out is, although the government is huge, right? There's a lot of different agencies, which means there's a lot of different customers, but they're not all your customer. So it's important to find who's your customer. Once you find that, you'll see that it is a smaller base than the whole government sector as a whole. Okay. So now we're talking about that smaller base because it's usually, you know, you'll find maybe 3 to 5 different customers that you'll work with consistently. And that'll be enough to get you to your goals, whatever they are. You'll see, you know, the other part of that, when you look at it as a smaller base, you're able to build relationship. You're able to build it quickly. Think of it like this. If you're out at a networking event or a conference, let's say a conference, you know how they hold these huge conferences every year where there's thousands of people there, and you're trying to network with as many people as you can, right? Meet as many people as you can, as quickly as you can, because you're only there for a limited amount of time. So what happens is you don't really get to know the person. You don't get to build a relationship with them. Now, yes, you can come back after the fact and follow up, that kind of thing, and build a relationship with them. But it's difficult when you have to build a relationship with 50 people versus 5, right? You get to know them better. You can build a relationship faster because you can spend more time with the one person versus having to get through 50 people, okay? And then also, when you have a smaller base, you're going to find that you're in a niche area. Now, I know a lot of you guys, when you come into the Contractors Edge Bootcamp, I talk to, you know, everybody individually in there. And what we find, sometimes people have multiple things they want to do. Sometimes people come with 5 different things they want to do, not related at all. And we try to get you to narrow your focus, because when you can do that, you'll find that it'll be easier to deliver on your promise as well. Meaning you'll be able to create the systems. You'll be able to automate some things. You'll be able to have key people in specific places, and it won't change. Because if you're offering multiple things, if you're doing multiple things, then you're going to need different people with different skill sets each time. And then also the system that you created that would work doing trucking is not the same system that will work doing janitorial, right? And so you'll find that when you just narrow your focus, you focus on a small base, and that includes the customer, locations, all of that. When you get laser focused on that and build relationships that way with that, 3 to 5, 7 max, it's not going to be a lot. You'll see that you'll be able to deliver on your promise. You'll be able to create systems and processes, and you'll be able to make them better and more effective, where you'll realize that you'll start to get your time back, but you'll also be making more money because you'll learn how to perfect what you're doing as well. You'll be able to eventually, something that may have taken you 5 days, you'll be able to do it in 4 or 3 days, just because now you have systems in place, and you can just work the system, and it's faster, still effective, but faster. So I want you to think about that. When you're looking at government contracting, I don't care whether state, federal, whatever sector you want to play in, think of it as a smaller base, being laser focused on those things that we just talked about, the customer, building the relationships, what you're going to deliver on, because you'll be able to automate it, make systems and things like that. And what you're going to find here on this channel, we're going to start talking about beyond bidding the contract, because we talk a lot about the front end of getting the contract, but we're going to also start talking about the back end of that. Like once you're awarded the contract, we're going to start talking about once you're, making money, you're consistent with that, you're winning contracts. Now what? It's going to be time to scale. So we're going to talk about scaling your business, adding team, adding key personnel, and getting you to a place. And this I talk about in my 5-part government contracting framework, which is PACE. So we're going to get you to the point where you can start pacing, meaning your business will start working. You'll have key personnel in place, and you'll be able to start stepping back where you don't have to be there all the time. You don't have to have your hand in everything. And I talk about this in my book, Entrepreneur Extraordinaire, where I talk about, and the guys will love this, I talk about quarterbacking without touching the ball. And so that's where we want to get you this year. Okay, so if you stick around with us this year and do the things that we're talking about here, you should get to the point to where you're pacing in your business. So you're going to go through the 5-part framework, positioning, profit, partner, perform, and pace. Okay. And that will get you to scaling your business and taking it to that next level. All right. So the other thing about government contracting is faster growth. You're able to grow so much faster. I don't know if you've experienced that. If you've been in business for a while, you're doing things in the private sector, think about it. I'm not going to ask you to share this because it's your personal information and some people don't like to share this, but think about this. If you are at the 6-figure mark, okay, how long did it take you to get there? Right? If you're maybe winning a contract here or there, how long did it take you to get there? Wherever you're at, how long did it take you to get there? Right? Are you winning contracts consistently, like every month? If that's how your business is structured, not depending on your business, depending on the size contracts you're bidding and winning, you may be on projects for longer than a month. It just depends, right? If you win a $500,000 contract, it depending on what it is, it could take you 4 to 6 months to do it, right? And depending on your capacity, that may be all you can do. So you have to look at your paper and decide what success looks like for you, what growth looks like for you, and like how many contracts is that? Like how many contracts do I need to hit my number and things like that. And we talked about that, I would say over the last month in one of the videos here. So you can definitely check that out. But you want to make sure you're pacing yourself, right? But you should be growing faster in the government market because you have the opportunity for the larger contracts, meaning larger dollar values, right? So you're going to hit your numbers faster with a less number of contracts. And a lot of the contracts will be longer. Okay. I've had students in my Contractors Edge Bootcamp. Sometimes the contract may be like they do a product. One student is they do a product. And so one time they deliver on the product, but it was like $88,000. So if their goal was to hit six figures, what do they need now? $12,000 more, right? So imagine, remember, faster growth, right? I had another client, I think her contract was $48,500. And I can't remember how long a contract it was. I believe it was less than a year. Okay. Again, she's halfway to 50,000. So if her goal is to get to six figures, she's halfway there. Roundabout. I mean, 48, you add another 2, you're at 50. So she's halfway there, right? So what I'm telling you is, one, again, laser focus, know what your goals are, know what your numbers are. What number are you trying to hit this year? And then look at what is your fastest path to get there. And for a lot of you, it will be government contracting, where you'll only need a smaller number of contracts. Now, I'm not saying after you hit that, like the one person, 88,000, after that, you just sit back and relax, set a new goal, because you're about to hit the $100,000, right? She only needed 12, or I can't remember who it was, but they only needed 12,000 more, right, to get to six figures. So when you hit the goal, if you set a goal for this year and you say, okay, my goal is to get to six figures, $100,000. And whenever you hit it, set the next goal, right? Don't stop. Don't get complacent. We always want to be proactive in our approach. So just set your new goal and then go for that target. And if you hit that this year, then increase it. Keep increasing it to the end of the year, right? Don't get complacent. Don't stop. Because when you do that, like when you hit that first contract, whatever the dollar amount is, now you have momentum. And remember, I tell you guys all the time, consistency builds momentum and momentum builds cash flow. So once you hit that first contract, you win that first contract, or you hit your goal, or you're halfway there or almost there, don't stop. Because if you stop, you're going to stop the momentum. And then you're going to have to start over with the consistency, momentum, and cash flow. So don't stop once you get there. And that's why I always tell you guys, you're just one contract away. And I'm using these people as examples just to show you that you're just one contract away from everything opening up to what you want, meaning faster growth, meaning larger contracts, longer contracts, hitting your income goals, getting to the point where you need to start scaling your business. It can happen really quickly, and you have to be prepared for that. Okay. So know that. And here's the thing with government contracting, especially at the federal level. Once you're in, you're in. And that's why I keep saying you're just one contract away. I keep saying consistency builds momentum, and momentum builds cash flow. If you want to tweet that out, share it on social media, tag me on that. But that's it. Consistency builds momentum, and momentum builds cash flow. For real. Okay. The other part about this, especially at the federal level, is when you get a contract, sometimes you can hold that contract for years, especially when you deliver on your promise. Understand, especially depending on what you guys offer. So let me look in the chat. Did you guys tell me what you offer? Who told me? Hey, Pam, I hope all is going well. Pam was in the Contractors Edge Bootcamp. Okay, so we have Jackie, a dispatcher. So meaning this. So if Jackie wins a contract, and I hope I'm saying your name right, and Jackie, has a dispatch. So she's probably a dispatcher of, I guess, trucking and transportation probably. So say she wins a contract, or he, correct me if I'm wrong, win a contract, and you deliver on that, and that's it. Do you think they're not going to have other things to move after that? Of course they will. The same customer, So do you see how if you get in and you deliver on the promise, how you can stay in there for years at a time? Just contract after contract? Yes. All right. Let's see who else we have in here. Okay, we got Latoya doing administrative management. So I don't know particularly what you're doing to use that as an example, but let's use Pam. So Pam she does professional training and management development. So say Pam gets a contract to do some professional training and development for a group of government employees, right? You do know they hire new people. You do know people get into new positions all the time. So it's a never-ending cycle of people getting promoted to new positions, people being moved to different departments, people moving to different parts of the agency, and new people coming in, which means just because she had this one contract to do it doesn't mean that the new people don't need the same thing, right? So it's always new opportunities to do the exact same thing. And that's why I tell you guys, when you're undecided of what you want to offer to the government, I try to keep it in the same area at the very least so that your customer is the same. But the market, if you allow it, will tell you where to focus within what you do, because you'll see the opportunities out there. And so it's like, okay, yes. And then you start winning more contracts doing this than that. You're probably going to go to the one where you're winning more contracts, right? It just makes sense. Okay. So yeah, you'll do that. Let's see. True Abundance Freight Transportation. Hello. I think you reached out to me. Okay. So we have Shar. I remember you, an accountant in Chicago, and you work with contractors. So the government has accounting contracts, financial planning, accounting, bookkeeping, the whole spectrum of accounting and financials, right? And you do know that's never ending. I mean, think of the IRS. We file taxes every year. What type of accounting activities is attached to that? Think about contracting, right? The government puts out trillions of dollars in contracts every year. Somebody has to manage those numbers, right? So you have to look at it from that perspective. When I say once you're in, and that you could hold a contract for years. Okay. Not to say that they may not, well, they could give you a contract, like a year contract with some option years. Okay. I had a client win a $50 million contract, which was an IDIQ. I think it was a 4-year deal, because I think it was 9.9 million per year, something like that. So you could win something like that, right? You also could win a contract that's 2 years, and then they put it back out for bid and you win it again, right? Again, when you're in, you're in. And the other thing is, once you win a contract, you deliver on your promise, you have a leg up on the other people. At that point, you know how to price it because you won it, right? And you know how to deliver on it. They know you, you know them, because trust me, the relationship is still being built once the contract is awarded, right? So you have that. And then, the opportunity for repeat customers. Like your customer is going to come back and need the same thing over and over again. All right. In most cases. Now, if you're in construction and say you build a new building for them, for example, it doesn't mean that, they'll have another building for you to build. They may not. But within the agency, they probably will be building. If you pay attention, let me see if I can think of the term real quick. I can't think of the term, but anyway, the government has this thing where, they'll talk about and project, like, if you think about the military, if you have your ear to the ground on government stuff, you know how years ago the government was closing a lot of the bases, and they were, I can't think of the word you call it, but I'm going to just say they were reorganizing. And with that, for example, in construction, if you did something at this base, then these other bases needed it too, because they were doing a whole restructure type thing. So the possibilities are endless. You just have to be open and think outside the box. Don't stay in the box, because most things are not happening in the box. Okay, so you have to think outside the box. The other thing about government contracting is the ability to scale. And this is where you're able to grow, right? So if you're having, faster growth, you're able to grow faster, you have these repeat customers, longer contracts and things like that, your business is going to grow. You're going to start making more money. You're going to start taking on larger contracts, capacity, right? And so with that, you're going to need to scale. So if you start out today, nothing wrong with it. But if it's just you and your spouse, significant other, you and your business partner, or if it's just you, doesn't matter. You start where you're at, but do understand, as your business begin to grow, you will begin to scale. And that is where you're going to have to start adding on team, where we talk about that in the 5 Ps of, partnering, whatever that looks like, whether it's independent contractors, other small businesses, maybe with a larger company, you're building your inside infrastructure of your team, that admin support to do the back end paperwork. You should have an accountant at that point, or a bookkeeper, right? Both, because your bookkeeper can keep your books, your accountant can do your taxes and things like that. You'll probably need a financial advisor. Nobody tells you that, but I'm going to tell you, yes, you do. You want to protect your assets. You're going to want a financial advisor. You're going to maybe need more people in the field to help you deliver on the promise, because the contracts are now larger and longer. So now you may start hiring employees, just depending on what it looked like for you. It could be independent contractors where you 1099 them, depending on what the contract may, dictate and things like that. But you're going to need more people, okay? More people. And you're going to need to know where to put those people and where to put them first. And the thing about it, you just can't take a person and just put them wherever. You got to make sure they're on the right bus, number one, and then you put them in the right seat. It's very hard to get people to change that perspective of thinking, especially when they're making like high 6-7 figures, because I have a couple of clients that I work with privately, and to get them to understand, you can't bring your cousin and just put them on the bus, okay, and think it's going to work, right? Like if they don't know accounting, they can't do the accounting off the bat. You could teach them, possibly. Are you a teacher and everybody's not good at numbers, and you just can't make them do it, like and just keep them there, and your numbers aren't right and things like that. So I've seen it all. You got to have the right person first on the bus, and then you got to put them in the right seat, and that's very important. But this is what's going to happen. And as you're doing this, as you begin to scale, this is where the pacing comes in. Performing comes in at a higher level. You're going to have to step into being that true CEO of your business. You're going to have to step into being that visionary leader. And some of that is going to be quarterbacking without touching the ball. Now, I referenced that. I'll remember it in the description afterwards. I'll link to the book. You can grab it if you want. But you're going to have to learn how to quarterback without touching the ball, period. Okay? You got to learn to do that. The other thing is, as you begin to grow, so, you're growing faster, right? Larger, longer contracts, fewer customers, love it, right? You're going to begin to scale. And then also you're going to start looking at partnering relationships, because as you want to take your business to the next level, and when I say next level, I'm talking these larger contracts. A lot of times to get your foot in on those larger contracts, because you're just not going to have the capacity. You're just not. And you're going to start looking at those partnering relationships. Okay. And it's just opportunities. Like the opportunities are there. Trust me. People are looking for you just like you're looking for them. But you still have to make sure it's a good fit. Get the warm and fuzzy. Transparency, all that stuff needs to be there for it to be a successful relationship. And then lastly, you may look at a mentor protege program, which once you're at that point, I encourage everyone to do that. It can definitely grow your business, just depending on what your goals are, where you want to take your business and things like that. There's the opportunity for those mentor protege programs. You want to make sure you do them correctly because you don't want to take on their revenue, depending on how you structure the deal. And then you're no longer considered a small business. You don't want that, because at that point, you can't get any of those set asides. You can't bid any of the small business contracts, those small minority contracts, all the stuff that's set aside for small minority businesses. If you are then considered a large company, you can't do any of those. And then really it's complete downhill in the federal market at that point, because then you're competing with the big boys, but really you shouldn't be. And you don't have the capacity, the financials, all that to even make it happen. And so we don't want that. It's almost like getting disbarred from the government. You can relate it to that, because you just won't have capacity at that point, and you don't want that. So you want to make sure when you get into the mentor protege that you do it correctly and you structure it the correct way. Okay. All right. So I think I shared some stories there with you guys. We'll open it up, I'll see if you guys have any questions on what we share here today, and I'll answer those for you guys. If this is your first time here, definitely make sure you subscribe to the channel. Turn on the notification bell, and that way you don't have to come back and find the channel from week to week, because we drop new videos on Thursdays and go live on Tuesdays when we're prepared and Texas doesn't have power outages and things like that. But as you can see, most of the cases, God willing, we're here every Tuesday live and drop new videos on Thursdays, outside of holidays. All right. Awesome. So let's see. If you have a question, go ahead and pop it in the chat. Who didn't I say hi to today? I'm going to go down. Latoya, I said hi to you. Julie Dream, I remember you. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Latoya, I think I said hi to Latoya, so welcome. Latoya said, definitely a good channel. Thank you. Hey, Shay. Hey, I think we were chatting on Instagram, weren't we? I can't remember. Okay, any questions? I don't know if yours is a question, Shay, or if you're just telling me that, but that's, yeah. What you should pick? So Shay says, I want to offer credit education and credit repair, but I could only find administrative management and general management consulting services as the close fit. So you're probably talking about your next code. Can you share advice on what I should pick? So yeah, you would pick those next codes. So it may not spell out exactly credit education, but credit education may be under one of the financial next codes too. So you should look, because it could be financial planning or something. I can't remember. So you'll just have to search it. So what you want to do is, and this is for anybody, think about all of the keywords associated with what you do. So you see how I said financial planning, finances, things like that, because that's still credit education. Professional training and development, it could even be a part of that. And then when you're looking at specific opportunities to bid, they'll say exactly what they're looking for, right? It'll be engulfed in the next code, maybe of the professional training and development or administrative management or something like that. But then in the scope of work, they'll tell you exactly what they're looking for. So yeah, those are fine to use as next codes. Hey, Dwayne, welcome. I don't remember you here. Welcome to the channel. So you're just getting started. Awesome. Well, thank you. I hope you subscribe to the channel. Make sure if this is your first time, you guys subscribe, turn on that notification bell. Okay, so Latoya typed in. Okay. Sanchez. Hey. I believe you're new. Welcome to the channel. If we want to, so Sanchez says, if we want to entering in the boot camp, are you teaching us from the ground up? So, okay. So I think Sanchez is saying if they go into the boot camp. So if you sign up for the boot camp, and Sanchez is talking about the Contractors Edge Bootcamp, we are doing a name change come March. Same program, different name. First bid done fast. But if it's still the boot camp, if you enter the boot camp, are you teaching us from the ground up? Yes. So you basically start from where you're at in the training modules, because there's a lot of on-demand training modules. I don't know how many videos, over 40 videos in there. But in the on-demand training module videos, it teaches you everything you need to have in place to get your first bid done fast. Okay. And so, yeah, so no matter where you're at, we take you step by step in there. And then you also get to come to 6 group calls with us. And so you can ask any questions that you have on the topic of getting your first bid done fast. So yeah, all of that is covered in the bootcamp, Sanchez. We got you. So Shay says, okay, thank you. And okay, I will continue to search, but I don't have a college degree. Will that affect me getting greatly in those next codes? Not necessarily. No, it's not said that. Now, if they're looking for a CPA, for example, you have to have a college degree, because then you get your college degree, then you have to pass a test. So not only do you have to have a college degree, but you have to have a certificate, I guess it is, or whatever they call it, a license, maybe a CPA license or something like that. So that may be required, but a lot of opportunities with the government, no, it's not required that you have a degree. No. Great question. So Dwayne says, how soon should you go after your 8A or HubZone certifications? So 2 very different certifications. HubZone, if you're in a HubZone and you qualify, I say go out after it. I always say apply for all the certifications for which you qualify. Now, let me see, what else did you tell me up in here, Dwayne? Did you tell me something else? I saw your name before. What did you tell me? Okay, I was going to relate it to you. But anywho, okay. Okay, so you're just getting started. So for you, Dwayne, that's a negative. Don't go get your 8A. You're not going to get it anyway, more than likely. We'd have to have a conversation, but here's the general thing with the 8A. I don't suggest people jumping into the 8A, whether they can get it or not. But if you're just starting your business, you're just starting out, then you're not going to get the 8A. You're not even ready for the 8A. And I don't allow my students, you can do what you want, but I highly discourage you from applying for the 8A and you're just getting started. Here's the reason why. Even if you had the paperwork in place, meaning it looks good on paper and you could make it happen where they would approve it, you're still learning government contracting. The 8A program is a 9-year program, one shot, hit or miss. And I don't want you taking 2-3 years learning government contracting, learning how to bid, getting some contracts and building relationships, all that ground stuff, foundational things. And you're in an 8A program because it's 9 years. So if you don't do the things correctly, after 3 years, you only have 6 left. So when we go into the 8A program, we want to take advantage of all the 9 years. Okay. And so that's why I would say right now, no, you're not ready. Now, sometimes I have clients that come to me, they're, killing it in the private sector. They've been in business for years. They know how to bid contracts. They, are making the cash flow is there. Like they have, everything. They check all the boxes and they know how to do things. Then yeah, we'll look at the 8A, but I'm usually working with them privately. And so I can fill in any deficiencies that they have. So in essence, really, they don't have any because they have me. But if that's not the case, even though they're successful in the private sector, they still have to learn the government side. And I don't want anybody to waste their time learning because it's only 9 years and they go by really fast. And I have a lot of people that come to me after they've been awarded their 8A and they haven't done anything with it for 3-4 years. And now they're on the downside of it and they're still having to learn. Even when they find me, okay, we got to get up to speed. And it's still more time wasted. So I hope that answers your question. Okay, so Latoya says, I have all my certifications and was on a bid and didn't get it. Would a coaching session be good for me or the boot camp? So Latoya, One, I don't do one-off coaching sessions, and here's the reason why. A lot of times, most things, anything government contracting, now prior clients, we might do a one-off session like retainer type things, but that's because we already know they have the foundations and they know everything. It's just something very specific they want some help with. If you're because my question, Latoya, would be like, how long have you been bidding contracts and things like that? Because if, for example, you bid, and you could have bid several contracts and you haven't won them, there's a gap somewhere. And I'm going to gather it possibly could be something foundational. I don't know. But here's why I like to point people to the boot camp first, especially if you're not already making six figures in your business. One, because of the investment involved, right? To join the boot camp is currently $1,497. And it may go up in March, but as of right now, it's $1,497. To work with me privately starts at $5,000, period. Okay. And if it's foundational things, you can get that in the boot camp. In addition to, I said earlier, you get to come to 6 sessions, they're group, but you still get to ask your questions, and you can get the foundational things in place at a reasonable price versus having to spend $5,000, $10,000. Most people, when I work with you privately, is $10,000. We start at $10,000. And so most people may not have that. And if it's foundational things, I'd rather you come into the boot camp and learn the foundational things, make sure you have everything in place. And then if you want support privately at that time, you're making money in your business, you can, the investment is an easy investment for you. Because what I don't want is, you having to decide, okay, next month I won't be able to pay my bills if I don't make this money. I don't have cash flow coming in, things like that. I don't want to put people in that position, and you're working with me privately. That's because you can't focus, you can't do the stuff. And so, $1,500, $3,000 is an easier investment while you're learning. Okay, so I hope that answers your question. So if you're just getting started and you're not sure, you need some help bidding, making sure you're bidding correctly, you're including everything, foundational things, then I would say, Latoya, join us in the boot camp. But if you have more questions on that, you can definitely go to my contact page and email me on my website, and we can talk a little bit more about it. Okay. Oh, thank you, Julie. Julie says, Felicia, glad you're better with the weather. Yes. It's going to be almost 80 degrees today. Isn't that crazy? Yeah. Latoya, don't get discouraged and stop. So you did bid 2 contracts. Oh, don't get discouraged. I forgot. What did you say you were doing? Let me see. Oh, you were trying to figure out your next codes. Okay. Yeah. I mean, it could be I don't know why you didn't win. We'd have to have a conversation about that. We could definitely revisit that in the boot camp for sure. When is the next enrollment? So here's the thing. I'm going to be sharing this Thursday in my video that comes out Thursday, but for you guys, since you're here and you're asking. So I am excited about the transformation that the bootcamp is going to have. We're doing a name change just because Contractors Edge Bootcamp doesn't tell you what it is. And if you notice, I always say first bid done fast. So we're going to switch the name to first bid done fast. That's the first thing. And because that's what the bootcamp is all about, first bid done fast. Also in that, you'll be able to sign up at any time. There's not going to be a start-stop enrollment date. So you'll be able to enroll at any time and join us immediately. Because even now, if you sign up today, you get immediate access to the training modules. Whenever you sign up, you get access to the on-demand training modules immediately. It's like you go in, you put in your information. It takes you to the page. You create your password. From there, you're into the on-demand training modules. So you get immediate access to that regardless, right? Moving forward, you'll still be able to join at any time, but there won't be a delay and when the next live sessions start, if that makes sense. So, for example, if you signed up today, right? Or because it's going to change in March, but just say you signed up March 15th, then that next week you can come to the session. You'll be able to come to the next 6 live sessions. So it'll be more immediate access to me, if you will. And not that it was that long in between before. It's just that we had a stop date as a group. And I think we're going to try this and see. I think this may work a lot better for people. They can get in immediately and get more of an immediate access to me, if that makes sense. And then you'll have 6 live sessions with me, but you'll still have access to the on-demand training modules even after the 6 weeks. Okay. So I hope that answers your question. Oh, and we're starting a Facebook group. Did I tell you guys that? So we're going to add a Facebook group. Those of you that's already in the boot camp, you'll be able to come to the Facebook group. It's going to be totally new. Here's the reason why. I don't know if you guys are on my email list, but I did tell you guys my Facebook account got hacked. So I don't have access to the old Facebook group. And that's why I really hate to put it there, but people have been asking. So we're going to open up a Facebook group, but that's one of the downfalls is this is attached to an account, and Facebook accounts get hacked all the time. I don't know why somebody would want mine, but whatever. So we're going to have to recreate the Facebook group. And so any of the prior students, they can still come in because you'll always be able to stay in the Facebook group. So you'll also have that. And it's not where we'll be teaching or anything like that, but it's more for networking. And we'll have some prompts of things that you guys may want to share there, like networking events that you hear about, because a lot of times you guys will email them to me and then I'll share them accordingly. But we're going to put that there. You can what you're working on. If you're looking for a partnering relationships, you could put that kind of stuff in there because you never know who else is in there that you could possibly partner with. So that's what it's going to be for. Community. So Julie says, OMG, 9 years is long enough. People finish college in 4 years. Is it that difficult to learn? So you're talking about the 8A program. So no, you don't. So no. One, I'm going to encourage you to go watch the videos I've done on the 8A program. So the 8A program is not teaching you anything. The 8A program is a program to help you grow your business, in that they're able to sole source contracts to you. Meaning I could call you, hey, Julie, what you doing? Yeah, this is Felicia over at the Core Engineers. So I see that you do professional training and development. I have this contract. It's about $1.2 million. We need somebody to do X, Y, Z. Can you do it? And you say yes. Okay, so do you want the contract? And Julie says yes, it's yours. That's what the 8A program is about. So it's not about teaching you anything. It's sole source opportunities available to you for 9 years. Okay, so I didn't say you had to be at the contract. Did you hear me say that? I didn't say that. I said I called you on the phone and asked you, did you want that contract? Now we might have to negotiate price, right? Because you guys still, I hope you do this, make sure it fits the number, but I can pick up the phone and call you and give you a contract. That's what the 8A program is in a nutshell. Okay, True Abundance said, I am coming on board soon. Awesome. I didn't see your question on micro purchases. So if you want to pop that back in, I don't know who that is. How many people are generally in the group lives at one time? It depends. We have more people in the program that shows up for the lives. That's just how it is. Some people just want the course material, which is enough because a lot of students win contracts without even coming to the live session. So it's your preference. And ideally, I talk to everybody. Sometimes we're there for hours. I'm there for hours. You can, once your turn is done, you can hang up if you want. But I try to service everybody. So I don't think it's about a numbers thing. I think sometimes we may have 15, 20 people, if I'm correct, that show up live. Sometimes it's 5 or 10. A couple times it's been 2 people and they get it all. Like whatever they need, I'm helping them. I've scheduled the time. So if they want the help, I'm there. So it just depends. So yeah. Pam says the training is mega valuable. Thank you, Pam. Yeah. So yeah, Pam's in the boot camp. Latoya says, so if I sign up today, I can have access to the lives, or should I wait until March? You can do either or. It's up to you. Either or. You'll get to come for 6 live sessions. So it's up to you. Now the price may go up in March. I'm being totally transparent because we're adding a couple things. But you can sign up today if you want. It's up to you. You'll still get 6 sessions with me. So Latoya says, okay, cool. So it's still small enough to get questions answered. So I think Joshua and Tina was on here. Pam is on here. And I don't remember who else that's in the Contractors Edge Bootcamp. You want to answer that question? So Latoya says, or was it Julie? Oh, it scrolled on me. Hold on, I got to go find it. Oh, let me go back. Okay. Okay, so Latoya says, okay, cool. So it's still small enough to get questions answered. So Pam, Joshua, Tina, any of you guys want to answer that for her? Do I answer your questions? Everybody's questions? Do I rush you? We've been on those calls for 4 hours. I'm going to be totally transparent. I'll be there for 4 hours sometimes. Why? Because I talk to everybody. I answer everybody's questions. I help everybody. That's just how I roll. And I don't even realize we'd be there that long until we get ready to hang up. And I'll be like, oh my gosh, I have kept you guys too long. But I'm there to service you guys. So I try to get to everybody. If you hang in there with me, I'm coming around based on how you pop on and I see you, I just go across and I help everybody. But what does Pam say? Pam says, yes, absolutely. Okay. Yeah, she knows. She gets her question answered. All right. Tyra says, how much is the program? So the boot camp is currently $1,497. $1,497, or you can do a 3-pay option. It's on the website. You can go over to, I told you the new name next week will be First Bid Done Fast. And that's the URL, firstbiddonefast.com. I'll put it in the link. So you can go there, check it out. Here, let me put it down here for you. Boot camp. So there's the link. I put it in there for you guys. Latoya says, what times, days do you do the lives? They're on Wednesdays at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. Now, to help out with us being there 4 hours, I am considering doing 2 calls a week if it needs to be done. So that's something we're considering as well. You don't have to come to both. You can come to one or the other, or you can come to both, but you don't have to. Really, it's for you to come get the support that you need. So, yeah. So, Marla, when you say, will those already enrolled have access to the extra material being provided in March? So there's no extra material per se. We're just restructuring the program. Now, we're adding the Facebook group, but that'll be added before March. It would have been added last week if we'd have had power. So everybody can come to the Facebook group. Other than that, there's no new material, if you will, that we'll be providing. Now, if I update something and you're still in the program or whatever, you'll see that in the training modules itself. So yeah, you're not missing out on anything per se. Oh, thank you, Pam. So Pam answered the question. She said, Felicia is an amazing teacher and addresses everyone individually. I do. I answer everybody's question. Okay, so you got your questions answered? Okay, great. And that was Burning Heart Fellowship. So I answered your question. Awesome. Marlana, I don't know why I say your name wrong. Marlana says, everyone is also encouraged to become resources for each other in some form or fashion also. Exactly, in the bootcamp. I encourage you guys to network, partner, things like that. Yes, it's highly encouraged. You're all learning the same thing. Not to say you're doing exactly the same thing, and some people are, but you're learning the same material to do it the same way. And it just, it's like, wonderful, right? All right. Burning Heart Fellowship. I think this is Tina and Joshua said, we were not rushed and we received the info we needed. Awesome. Talking about the boot camp. True Abundance. Oh, you're in Houston, 77 right now? Yes. What did it? Let me see. What mine say? We're appreciating this heat. You other people don't know. It's 73 here in Dallas. This is great. So Bernie Heart Fellowship, Joshua and Tina also said, we also learn from listening to other questions. That is the eye opener that people don't understand. And so here's what I say in the boot camp. If you come and, you know, maybe you're on the front end because you got to get back to work. We know everybody has their schedule, things like that. And you get your question answered and you leave, you still get the replay. So I always encourage you to go back and listen to the replay, because you can still listen to other people's questions. You may not have the question yet, but you may have it later. And a lot of times that's very helpful for you guys as well. And Pam says, Felicia not only answers questions, but gives tips specific to your industry and business. Yes, when I'm talking to you, it's me and you talking about your business, almost like we're there by ourselves. So it's catered to you specifically. Okay, Latoya says, if you will be doing lives twice, will they both be in the morning? Probably not. One will probably be later in the afternoon. We haven't planned that all out yet. And then again, it just depends on what the need is. I'll do a lot, but what I don't like to do is do something and nobody shows up. You know what I'm saying? Because I could be out chilling, hanging too. Okay. So yeah, I just try. What I want to make sure is everybody is served. And that's the main thing. Tyra says, do you have an evening class? Because I work in the morning or in the daytime. What's evening time, Tyra? Tell me. Latoya, you're asking that too. What's evening? What time of day are you talking about? I'm always open, as long as enough people want to show up. So tell me, because I'm going to take a screenshot of this when we're done. And we may do twice a week. That may be better than 4 hours at one time anyway. So tell me, what are you thinking? So the rest of you guys, if you're new here, we're talking about the boot camp. It's currently called the Contractors Edge Bootcamp. Next week, the name will change to First Bid Done Fast. Any URL that you currently have to get to it will work. We're just redirecting. And we already have the URL, firstbiddonefast.com, that I put in here, so you can access it there. The major shift is there won't be an enrollment start date, end date, meaning you can sign up at any time and then come join us for the live sessions, versus me saying, okay, you sign up today, but you have to wait until March 15th for the live sessions to start. Does that make sense? So that's the big change. So Tyra says after 5 p.m. Latoya says after 4 p.m. Central Standard Time is fine. Tyra, so I don't know what time zone you're in, but okay. So after 4, yeah. I can maybe do that. Yeah, we just have to figure it out. Probably, you know, if we did one in the evening, it would definitely be a cutoff of 2 hours. I can tell you that, because it'll be so that time. Okay, that's not bad. Not bad at all. All right, awesome. Any other final questions before we wrap up? So you said Central Standard Time as well. Okay, cool. Any final questions? And here's the other thing. You get the links. So say we start at 4 p.m. Central Standard Time. Tyra, you can't get on to 5, then jump on at 5. We'll still be there. As long as there's people there, I'll still be there. All right? So you jump on at that time. Latoya says, that's fine. I can only retain about 2 hours. I know. But you know what? It'd be so good. I'm telling you, everybody stay on the 4 hours. You'll be surprised. We be talking about, I be helping them, and everybody be there for 4 hours. Nobody said, Miss Streeter, it's been 3 hours. Nobody says nothing. I'm helping you guys. Like, the time is flying for me because I'm like in my zone. So, but I get you. Okay, Latoya says, I'm enrolling today. Awesome. Good. We have a call tomorrow. So, yeah. Now, the other thing, Latoya, if you want to wait and say, okay, I want to wait until you add the evening session, you can do that too. I don't have a problem with that, whatever works for you. And that way you can, you know, come at a time that works for you. So no problems there, but you get 6. Okay. And like next week is March anyway. So we'll have it all set up for you guys next week anyway. Oh, I think I just asked for that, Latoya, next week. Yeah. All right. Awesome. All right. Any final questions before we wrap up? You guys have been awesome. Awesome. 2 things do for me. 1, if you enjoyed this live today, go ahead and like this video. Maybe you took one little nugget, like this video. or you just like coming hanging out with us, that's cool too. Like this video. And if this is your first time, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Turn on the notification bell so you get notified when we go live. If you guys don't know, a lot of times, as long as I have the time afterwards, I open it up for Q&A. I think I got to take my son to the doctor here in an hour, so we're going to wrap this up. But I always open it up for Q&A. That's just how I roll. So you can imagine what kind of Q&A and service we have in the boot camp with the paid students. That's just how I roll. All right. All right. So you guys have an awesome rest of your day. I really appreciate you coming, hanging out with me, sharing your questions and things like that. And remember, you're just one contract away. All right. So I'll see you guys back here real soon. Bye for now.